We come to the Pilates Qigong mix, and yeah, it's a nice long-winded name as usual from the Qigong move. Standing on one leg with hand on balloons. But basically it's just working on our one leg phase really. Our one leg phase is 85% of the time in the walking gait we're on one leg in the walking phase 85% of the time. So anything on the one leg is good for posture, and it's overemphasising the walking gait. Adds a little bit more instability to our core, and really good for the little proprioceptive, my ankle's doing this by the way, yeah, the proprioceptive nerves that stabilise, constantly do this. When you stand on one leg you really feel them going on, so yeah, it really supports us through injuries, etc. You can do this barefoot, on a yoga mat, etc. I'm doing it in trainers, but again, doesn't really matter. So with that, we're gonna do the Pilates breathing and set up. So with that I mean, generally the traditional stuff, which I will do on another tape, and have done on other exercises, we breathe into belly like a balloon. That massages all the internal organs, etc. With Pilates, the emphasis is different. None of them wrong, none of them right. The emphasis is different with Pilates because we're engaging our corset muscle 3 layers deep. The transverse abdominis, the corset muscle, the powerhouse, the girdle of strength. The only way to get that is by gathering in, throwing on that corset and zipping up pelvic floor. So we do the opposite of the Qigong. Again, we're just taking the movement from Qigong because it's just movement at the end of the day. And we're adding a different breath work with it, the Pilates breath. So with that, I'm going to go straight into the breathing. So we're going to zip up pelvic floor, scoop out the abdominals, take our navels towards our spines, basically, that throws on our corset, and zip up pelvic floor. Then muscles go together. You can't do one without the other, okay? They go together, which we'll go into detail in a minute. And as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out the abdominals, you're going to breathe in through the nose, whenever you like, and exhale through pursed lips. And as you're doing that right now, zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out the abdominals, that's going to help us breathe anywhere but our belly buttons. It's going to help us breathe low and deep into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach, because there's nowhere else the breath to go right now apart from into them lower lobes of lungs. As we gather in, zip up and hollow, take our navels towards the spine. There's nowhere else the breath to go right now as you keep zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out the abdominals. We can't go wrong. And keep breathing from the nose whenever you like. And exhaling through pursed lips for as long as you like, through pursed lips. You're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. And just to see where that breath's going into the lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach, we can just, to give us that awareness that's happening, because it is, we're going to get these 2 middle fingers touching underneath our breastbones, palms on the lower lobes of lungs. Okay, as we zip up pelvic floor and scoop out the abdominals, shoulders down, we're going to breathe in through the nose, whenever you like, and exhale through pursed lips. Okay, lovely. And as you can see, them 2 middle fingers are slightly parting and coming back to touch each other. Even if it's a centimetre or a millimetre or a foot, this sort of thing's happening. They're coming apart and back as you let them shoulders down. Because they're very overactive, these upper traps. They like to take over the way we live. Keep on zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out abdominals, palms on the lower lobes of lungs, middle fingers underneath the xiphoid process, the sternum, the breastbone. And again, we just carry on. Allow when that simplicity relax the mind, breathing in through the nose whenever you like, and exhaling through pursed lips. You'll find them fingers are moving like seaweed on the bottom of the seabed to the sides and back. Just adding width to the lungs as you breathe in, and length to the out breath. Again, it might be a millimetre, a centimetre, it doesn't matter. Okay, because as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, that'll be happening anyway. That breath can only go into them lower lobes of lungs, as you can see right now. As you breathe into them fish gills wide and full, Keep breathing in organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep into them lower lobes and lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Lovely. What we call lateral thoracic breathing in Pilates helps us use our pelvic floor and our corset muscle, our powerhouse, our girdle of strength, 3 layers deep, in the most efficient manner right now, helping us breathe anywhere but our belly button. But keep breathing to that accordion the ribs. So someone's opening the umbrella inside your rib cage and letting go, or someone's just pushing out from inside your ribs and letting go. That lovely, free, expansive breath. Lovely. You can imagine someone's wrapped a tight scarf around your ribs and you're breathing to that scarf wide and full. Keep breathing from those whenever you like. And exhaling through pursed lips as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. That breath goes anywhere but our belly buttons. Helps us use that pelvic floor and our corset muscles in the most efficient manner. As you let the hands down, you keep that breathing up. Again, a little bit more of a workshopy moment. We get these thumbs as we're doing this from the hips all the way around, just to let us know where the B-line, bikini line, belt line is. Okay, again, lower than that is pelvic floor, higher. Linking on like cling film on this corset, on this B-line, is the corset muscle, the transverse abdominis. So again, pelvic floor is lower. Okay, above this B-line, on this B-line and above, linking on like cling film is the corset muscle, 3 layers deep. Okay, so if we keep that line there, if we cough or sneeze, and it comes in towards the spine. So as you're breathing in, that just lets you know their muscles are doing that. As you exhale, nice resonant out breath. It helps you further flow on that corset without even trying or trying not to try it. So again, just think of that cough or sneeze. You can even do that. And then next time you breathe in, that help you throw on that corset and brace yourself in the abdominals. It's not called cough or sneeze. It just lets you know, as you let the hands go now, that them 2 muscles only go together. You can't do one without the other. Okay, you can't do one without the other. They go together. The only way to explain the pelvic floor is you're on a journey, you want to go to the toilet, you stop yourself going, that's your pelvic floor. The corset muscle, 3 layers deep, is linking on that B-line, wrapping around the spine, and segmentally stabilise the spine. Okay, as you keep zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out the abdominals. But even more effectively now, because you know their muscles are there, that helps us use them in even more correct fashion, that awareness. That takes away that amnesia of knowing where these muscles are. Okay, that helps us fire and wire their muscles in the correct fashion as you keep zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, and simply breathing from those whenever you like, and exhaling through pursed lips. Lovely. Lateral thoracic breathing. Lovely. So we're going to calibrate and synchronize that to motion, but there's not much motion in this. So with the Qigong motion anyway, it's basically balancing on one leg. So again, you can lengthen out between big toe, little toe. So think of the little toe there, lengthen out. You can do a little Mexican wave. So you lengthen out from big toe to little toe. Imagine it's a tripod from big toe to little toe to the centre of your heels, just rooting your feet in towards the floor on this one leg especially. Okay, really root that leg in. Imagine them roots are growing up, nourishing that leg. Again, if you're not happy like that, then just come into like a cat stance there, or stabilise every now and then. See what suits you. Okay, you can be low, you can keep it near the floor, or high to make it harder. High is harder, low is easier. Again, from here, we take the hands at hip height. Again, pretty much where that B line is. And again, on the exhale, and we keep the shoulders down, lengthen up for the crown, shoulders down. As we gather in, zip up and hollow. It helps us stabilise. Okay, gathering against the instability. If you have to put your finger on your nose or your ear at any time, if you find you're losing your balance, you can do that, or find a spot on the wall. But again, if you find you're losing your balance, try it. Finger on the nose or the ear. You don't have to keep it there all the way, but that just helps you find your peripheral vision of where you are. It can be low or high. And just basic balancing on that one leg, really rooting yourself in. You can always swap over, exhale out, breathe in and exhale in. Again, if you get the breathing the wrong around, it's not the end of the world. Okay, just get there, gathering from that corset. Again, remember, finger on the nose or the ear, you really find you're losing your balance. Okay, or just find that spot on the wall, and gathering against the instability, or take a toe on the floor and come back into it. Shoulders over hips, head over shoulders, gathering against that instability. Root that leg in. Imagine them roots growing up and nourishing the body from the floor. Shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. Exhale out when you're ready. Breathe in. And just exhale in when you're ready. Highs harder, lowers easier. Again, it's a bit like the Brukrasana, tree posture out of yoga. But again, just taking that Qigong motion and putting it to its movement. Okay, lengthen up for the crown. Imagine there's a brace on your head, putting your head up towards the ceiling. That brace, that puppet string, that hook, that brace. Lengthen up for the ear. Shoulders down, lengthen up for the crown. Gather in, zip up in a hollow. Shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. Gathering against the instability there. Hands are even. You can always take them out of balance if you need. Exhaling out whenever you like. Again, you might spend longer than I am. Breathing in, exhale up. Again, it can be lower or higher. See what suits you. It can be near the floor as you like. Touch down with a toe. Again, imagine that trickle of water just running down the back and dispersing. Then shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. That lovely soft bit between your shoulder blades. They do try and take over these upper traps. Really keep them down, lengthen up for the crown. Gathering against that instability, zipping up and hollowing. Exhale out, breathing to prepare, then exhale in whenever you like there. Okay, if it's too much, just do the lot in a cat stance. Okay, when you hear gather in, zip up and hollow, and keep breathing. Again, nice one to steady the mind. Sometimes different days you're a bit all over the show. Sometimes you find your balance isn't as good on the one leg. Lets you know. Again, here, if you need to balance, finger on the nose or the ear, or you've got that spot on the wall, from that corset, that will help stabilise. Lovely. So, yeah, so standing on one leg, with hands on the ball, that's a Qigong posture basically. We're just mixing them up and just putting the Pilates breath with that. Obviously going to the meridians, etc. when you're doing the Qigong, but again we're just doing the Pilates breathing mix, just taking away Qigong postures, putting Pilates breathing and set up with it. You've got that corset muscle. You can't go wrong. If you tuck in, you can't go wrong. You zip up pelvic floor or tuck in, they're going to work each other, like we said, so you can't go wrong. Okay, and just breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips. Remember that exhale when you fire out that beeline there, it's like a cough or a sneeze. That really help you throw in that corset, and that stabilises the spine. It's a good one to do anyway, one leg stuff. Yeah, and we're steadying the mind as well as the body, and very functional exercise. Anything at the one leg, it's that one leg phase. So we're simply sort of really over mimicking the walking gait, and making it harder really on the stability of the ankles there and the core, because the corset muscle, you'll find that on, you've got the lumbar fascia, the back part of the corset. Let's call it all the corset though. Helps extension for us. So it really supports the spine, extended up against gravity. And yeah, really good one to do there. Lovely. Qigong, Pilates Qigong mix back.